Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha. Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sarva Mangala Mangalle Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanyatrambake Devi Narayani Namostute. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shri Hanumate Namaha. Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 7th of June 2026. I want to offer my prostrations, Anantakoti Namaskaram, to all the great sages and to Bhagavan Paramatma residing in the heart of every single being at all times. We're continuing after a little bit of a break, just because of my schedule and some events that had come up, to examine Raga and Dvesh, the 10 major deficiencies in human condition. We have been examining them, we have recorded them, we have talked about them, we've discussed about them to some extent. So today we are beginning, or maybe continuing maybe from some days back, on Rag and Dvesha. What is Rag Dvesh? This is very common expression that is commonly used in Sanatan Dharma, Hindu tradition. We want to understand this as thoroughly as possible. We'll see how much time. It could take up to a week or so. I don't know. Whatever is the will of Bhagavan Krishna, on that basis, we will go on that basis. We want to open this very carefully. So these are two words. If you're taking notes, hopefully you are. Please do take these notes. The two words are Raga and Dvesha. RAGA-DVSA, with a dot underneath the S. And the Raga, the line on top of the A. It's a long A. Raga or Raga and Dvesha. It's not Raga, it's Raga. Raga and Dvesha. Right? So these are the two words. So what is this? These are the paired structure. It's a paired structure of attraction and aversion. Two words to write down. First, we want to understand, this is our goal here in morning satsang. We want to be absolutely crystal clear about the concepts. Then we can progress very nicely into realization by Guru Krupa, Bhagavad Krupa. So, it's a pair. Pair? Why is it a pair? And what is the pair? It's the paired structure, meaning that they are together, of attraction and aversion. AVERSION. Aversion means not liking, disliking. Attraction is I like, I want. That is called Raga. And Dvesha is the dislike, the aversion. And this is what the mind is living in. Our mind, our TEMDE. Thought, emotion, memory, desire, energy. It is living within the dynamics and the structure of Raga and Dvesha. I'll just use those two words. We'll talk about attraction, aversion. There's many ways to describe this. Compulsive liking, and there's a lot of ways to describe it in English. Right? So we want to go very slowly here. Let's go very slowly. So Raga Dvesha is these are paired tendencies of attraction and aversion through which the mind clings to what it likes and resists what it dislikes. Obviously, this is our life. We go to a restaurant, as we did yesterday. We had some graduation party yesterday. And so many dishes were ordered and all that kind of stuff, right? What happens? I like this, I like this, I like this, I like this. We select a menu. We are always functioning every second of our life in trying to maximize raga or trying to satisfy our demands for what we like and staying away from, moving away from, getting rid of the things that we don't like. Just take a menu at a restaurant. 100 items might be there. I like this, I like this, I like this, I like this. I don't like this one, this is not good. We are constantly, this is going on. Food, it happens. It happens with people. I like this person, I don't like this person. This person is nice, this person is this person. It just goes on. It happens with temperature, right? Sometimes it's too hot, sometimes it's too cold, sometimes it's this, sometimes it's that. It happens with clothing. I like this shirt. Like, just go to the mall. We're going to do hopefully this summer sometime, maybe July or August, we'll do it. I have to find the time for it. On a Saturday, we'll do a satsang retreat here, and then we'll go to some temples, and then we'll go to the mall to practice this whole idea. And you'll see what happens, Everyone is running towards the things that they want to experience, that they like them. There's the experience that I like XYZ, whatever that is. Isn't that so? That is life's experience. It happens in family also. You have 5 kids, you say, oh, get more attached to one or two of them. We love her. We say we love everybody, but internally it's not the exact same thing. There's different types of RAG-DVESH going on there. So much is there. This is human life. Now we come to a question. The question is there realization beyond Raga and Dvesha? The Bhagavad Gita is filled with this idea to go beyond the duality. This is called Dvanda. Dvanda, D-V-A-N-D-A or D-W-A-N-D-A. Dvanda means duality. I just gave some examples right now, and there could be thousands more. There are, in fact, thousands, endless number of examples. But before we can actually go beyond that or realize what is beyond that, we must understand what it is. Understand it intellectually, see it experientially, and then perform sadhanas. Take a path to go beyond Raga-DVESHA. That is pure bhakti. So the things that we've been talking about, mantra, stotra, shastra, mandir, and guru parampara, this is a doorway out of Rag-DVESH. These 5. Dharma, Jnana, Vairagya, Bhakti, Ekantika Dharma that we've been talking about from Vasudeva Mahatma, Bhagwan Swaminarayan propagated that one. That is a doorway out of Rag-DVESH. This is the whole ball game in spiritual realization, in life in fact. We have a choice. It's actually quite simple in one sense. At any given point, we can live in the dynamics of Rag, Dvesh. And there's so many dualities. Aham, mamatva, mera, tera, chal, kapat. There's so much. There's all kinds of dualities. Heat, cold, man, apman, man, apman, me, ekata, sukh, dukh, sukh and happiness, distress. Right? These are called the pairs of opposites. There's a whole list of them. We're going to go through them carefully. We're just talking about Rag Dvesh right now because that's at the root of all the whole pairs of opposites. Amazing. Kya Bhagwan ki maya hai, leela hai. Incredible, right? This is life. It's so. I mean, take the example of someone who likes hard liquor. There's so many liquor stores are there. And they are wanting that, they have the small bottles, I don't know what size they are, but hard liquor. Why does anybody drink that? I'm giving this as a very easy to understand example. Because of the experience it gives you some experience. Isn't it so? Why do people go to these expensive stores in the mall? That's why we want to do that actually when we go to the Christiana mall. And bring your purses, your wallets, or whatever you want to bring, It's going to be interesting. How to go beyond Rag-DVESH at the mall. And I don't know if anybody ever tried that one or not. You go inside. As soon as you go inside, they have made the atmosphere. All the beautiful clothing is there. Jewelry stores, perfumes, this, that. High-class stores. I don't remember the names of some of them. I remember Macy's and some others, but that's okay. But there's some higher class than that. Go to King of Prussia Mall, different places, In Hawaii, they have these, these stores, these outlets, or I don't know what they're called. They're on the beach itself, and there's nothing less than like $200. That's the minimum price for anything over there. Rich people, it's made for them, like that. Think about it, and it has an experience. You go to jewelry store, $10,000 ring. My God, $10,000 ring, $100,000 bracelet or locket or like a gold bracelet, $100,000 ka. $1 million diamond. We're just listening to all these things, like our mind starts sparking off. Wow, 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 wow. Isn't it so? You go to the Museum of Natural History in Washington, D.C., they have these massive diamonds over there. They're extremely expensive, in the millions. I don't know the exact number. There's nothing less than $1 million over there. Museum of Natural History. Kya baat hai? This is where the entire world is running in this direction. The sexual experience, Kama Vasana, all the pornography that has just exploded all over the world. Literally unbelievable. My God. Now it's become so saturated, it's all available for free. And at one time it was not like that. Now the whole dynamics have changed because of technology. और इसमें से आनंद तो मिलता नहीं किसी को. Think about it. Look at all these gambling games in the casinos. How many variations they have. They've expanded them. It all becomes saturated, and then it causes a lot of damage. And this is the thing to understand, and it's extremely difficult to understand or even to accept it. We may understand, or shake our head in our Indian way, that ZX roll that people shake their heads all the time like that, right? Everybody likes to say yes to everything. Sab theek hai. People can agree. That agreement means nothing. Anybody listening to this, I'm listening to myself. I could agree to it. You could agree to all this thing. So what? It doesn't mean anything just by agreeing to it. Agreement doesn't mean anything at all. It has to do with realizing, is there damage, harm, limitation in pursuing raga, in pursuing the attractions further and further and further? And the answer is absolutely yes. The answer is an intellectual answer, but the answer is not just an intellectual answer. The actual realization is called anubhav in Sanskrit, that raga, running after the attractive features in the sansar, and going further in them, it will cause damage to shakti, to buddhi, to vritti. Shakti means energy, buddhi means intelligence, vritti means our state of mind. It damages all. Damages relationships, damages the body, damages our senses, cigarettes and alcohol and all those things. We know about that. But the fact of the matter is that, just not just those addictive substances, just life in general. Yeah, we live in the matrix of raga and dvesha. We meaning all beings, not just human beings. This is no small thing. The technology of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita is completely about this. I mean, maybe we cannot say completely. There's more, obviously, but this is the base. These are the two stumbling blocks to realization of the Atma. Siddhi baat hai. There are many verses of the Gita. I'll research them and I'll show them for you online as we progress. We could spend a whole month on this. Maybe we should. It's worth spending the time. It's worth spending the time to really thoroughly, properly understand. हमारे मन में ऐसा होना चाहिए कि हम राग द्वेष क्या है, हम समझ, we understand it. Like, yes, I know exactly what that thing is. And then more importantly, to see it within oneself. हमारे ही अंतःकरण में देखना कि हमारे अंतःकरण में कितना राग द्वेष क्या पड़ा है सभी. Very tough. Difficult to even understand, right? So to carefully recognize that there is the experience of attraction. Now let's go into that step by step. This is how people go for dating and all that, right? They get attracted with the form, there's some attraction there. There's attractions of all kinds of the five senses. That's the way it goes. It's there. Because raga, which can be translated as attraction, attachment, and in a more harmful sense, compulsive liking. And I want you to understand two words. We'd like to present two words. Compulsion and obsession. Write these two words down. These are from psychology. Compulsion. Cumpulsion. You've heard these words before. Somebody's compulsive. But what does that mean actually? And then the other word is obsession. 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 Obsession is thinking again and again and again about a particular enjoyment that you want, some action that you want to do, action, or thinking about a person, thinking about a restaurant, thinking about some place, thinking about getting the next drink. I mean, whatever, right? That's the thinking. Obsession means thinking again and again. Compulsion means acting again and again, performing the same action again and again. That is called compulsion. Bahut clear. We should be very clear about these two words. Obsession and compulsion. There's a disorder called OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. It comes from this. The prime example of compulsion, somebody sitting at a slot machine. Everybody's seen that. Most of us have gone to casinos at some point. You see people just zoned out in front of those, they're just repeating, or they're pushing those buttons, repetitive act. This is called compulsion. That's why it's called compulsive gambling, not recreational gambling. It's a compulsion, repetitive act. Some people do repetitive acts. They clean again and again and again. They check locks again and again. This kind of stuff, There's so many different kinds of compulsions. So raga is compulsive liking and obsessive liking, both. Liking, this is, I want this, then I want it again, and 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 I want it again. It just goes on and on and on. And I want to expand it. Isn't this how it works? All you have to do is go to Disney World in Florida to understand RAG-DVESHA. They have so much stuff over there that appeals to so many, and you can just jump from one thing to another, one thing to another, one thing to another. One enjoyment to another, one enjoyment from another. And it's highly stimulative. It's very interesting. That's the way they have made it that way. It's a playground, right? I'm not saying that's a problem necessarily, but this is how we function. We function in humanity in the matrix of raga and dvesha. And things that we don't like, things that we don't want to experience. I don't like this. This is somebody said something to me that hurt me so much. That kind of stuff. Or this food is not very good. Or I don't like that particular kind of food. Or this. Aisa sab kitna chalta hai. So many things are there, right? That are examples of this. It is repulsion, aversion, compulsive resistance. That is called dvesha. Now, someone will ask a question. Anybody can ask a question this way. Anybody would. Maybe we've asked it ourselves. What is wrong with just enjoyment of life? That's it. Enjoy karo. Hedonism. Pleasures. Go, whatever you want to enjoy, the raga that you have, go run after that. Keep running. More money, more this, more that. More pleasures, more bungalows, more whatever. That's the purpose of life. Okay. Do it. That's all right. Aapki ichha. That's the way most people are doing it anyway. Right. Sachin is not criticizing anybody. I'm not here to criticize anybody. I just want to present the ideas. Jisko jo karna hai wo karo. That's the way life goes. But those who say that our purpose of our life is simply to maximize pleasures, enjoyments, the raga that is there, the attractions are there, that is there. So why should you deny that? Go run after that thing. Keep running. Drink a lot of alcohol. Go into all kinds of sexual situations. Go into all kinds of tasty restaurants. Different kinds of foods, different kinds of fish and eggs and meats and vegetables and this and that, and different spices and different masalas and different this. Particularly like in Sanatan Dharma, in our Hindu culture, Indian culture. My God, number of spices, number of dishes. I read somewhere there's some 10,000 dishes, different dishes where a potato is used. Potato is used in that many different ways. It's incredible. Not that you can make potato in that many, but it's used in that many different dishes. Some ridiculous number like that. Unbelievable. Kitna spices, kitna kya sab, it's unbelievable, Just here in Delaware, we have so many restaurants. And it has to do with maximizing these enjoyments. This is nice, this is tasty, this is and our mind is just in that. Our experience is in that. I want to have that pani puri, I want to have this bale, I want to have this thing, I want to go to that restaurant in this way. This just all goes. A restaurant is one example. Not to mention all the other enjoyments. The dynamics of Prakriti are like this. This is what is Mercedes cars or whatever. I don't know, Rolls Royce, Mercedes cars or whatever they are. I don't know the names actually. Luxury cars, right? You sit in those luxury cars, but if you say, I said, I want a luxury car. First of all, we should not lie to ourselves, at least. What is it that most people want? First of all, they want excellent health. Good brain, body, mind, stability, bahut acha. Lots of money, millions of dollars. So you can buy anything you want without looking at the price. Massive home in a very beautiful location with a nice lake, nice boat and all that kind of stuff, right? Think about it. Think about what people want. Excellent food items, maybe a cook in the home, servants in the home, or people contracted in the home to do all the homework. Lots of good circle of high-class friends. Let's be clear about what people want. This is what they want. People don't want God. जिसको वो कहते हैं ना भगवान को चाहिए, nonsense, BS. All total BS. This is what people want. Let's be honest at least. We should not lie to ourselves. There are extremely few who can go beyond all this. Extremely few. In the name of God, religion, people have made a lot of money. They've done lots of things, in the name of God. That's वो कोई अध्यात्म नहीं है. Just because that's in the name of God. People have killed each other also, as they're doing now. वो कोई भगवान की प्राप्ति नहीं होती इसमें से. Yeah, of course you need to live and all that thing, but that's not what it is. Let's be clear about what people. Some people just want to see an increasing bank account. Nothing else. They cannot spend the money. They don't want to spend anything. I cannot touch that. Just look at it as you're worshipping the murti, Mahalakshmi ji ki murti as an increasing bank account. And that's considered to be krupa of Bhagwan. Wo krupa hai Bhagwan ki. As promised, this year I will not dilute anything. This is the fact. So let's be clear about what we want. We want excellent families. Highly educated. Yes, we want family unity. We want everyone to be wealthy and rich. We want the best quality items in the home. High-class HD TVs. High-class everything. Topmost refrigerators, microwaves, this and that. Topmost. Everything topmost. Is that not true? Is anybody going to disagree with this? Who doesn't want all this? Bataiye, ek bhi. There might be. I'm not saying no. Must be. There are some who can see beyond all this. Who can see beyond this? This is what people really want. This is what Sigmund Freud talked about. This is called the entire hedonic perspective, that you want pleasures again and again and again and again. Well, why do people buy these lottery tickets? $100 million lottery, $1 billion pe jate hai lotteries, Powerballs, and all these other mega millions and all that. Why do people want that? Because they want this. That's why they want massive wealth. Massive wealth. This is the reality of human life. Everything else is just superficial showmanship. That's all. This is the reality. Let's not lie about that, at least. And people, even on the so-called spiritual path, most of them also want this. They're just lying to themselves, unfortunately, that's all. They're not really wanting God. They want this thing, which I just described. Is that not true? I'm not trying to find anybody's fault. There are very, very few who really want to go beyond all this into Paramatma. Baki ye chahiye sabko. Karo, mantra sadhana. You can do it. That's what the Vedas are for. Vedas are for this, by the way, huh? The Vedanta is to go beyond, which is Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, Brahma Sutra. The 4 Vedas are for this, what I just described, all this material stuff. And that's necessary. We need some of it, obviously. We need healthy body, healthy mind. We need all that thing. But yes, you can do big yagnas and all those kinds of things to increase your wealth and increase your position. And somebody wants to be a politician and somebody wants to be... There are all kinds of yagnas available from the Vedic time. Ved mantra are in Maya. Remember that. But they will take you out of Maya eventually if you continue that sadhana. Vedas are not beyond Maya. They are absolutely in Maya. And that's what they are about. Traigunya Vishaya Veda. Bhagwan Krishna kehte in Gita. So even on the so-called spiritual side, so-called, it's these material things people want. They want to, and that's fine. I'm not criticizing. Sachin is not criticizing anybody. Please don't misunderstand. If you want those things, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Artha or kam chahiye. Artha doesn't mean just money. All kinds of material objects. Karo sadhana iske liye. Kar sakte ho. You have to do sadhana anyway. Go into the material world and keep trying for that. People spend years getting well educated, the businesses and this and that, and they want to accumulate a lot of money. And then they want to buy some big home. Then that's not good enough. Then they want to have a circle of friends. Then that's also, they want to have some position somewhere, a political position. That definitely, I want to be a mayor, I want to be a state senator, I want to be a governor. Or usme bhi trupti nahi hoti. I want to be a president, I want to be this, I want to be a big person in the community, I want to be appreciated. This is the reality of raga and dvesha. Ye satya baat hai. There's no criticism of anybody. Sachin is not here to criticize anybody. Jisko ye chahiye, anand se jao, usme anand to nahi milega. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying. Like, this is the reality. This is the reality. Even when we go to all these temples and all that, people say, what is your sankalp? I want this and I want this. You want something. Swami Chinmayanand used to say, we don't pray to God, we pray upon God. Praying upon God. Ye sab khel hai, sab maya ka khel. This is rag-dvesh. And then the dvesha aspect of it. Let's take a few minutes and then we'll stop in just a minute here. The dislike, the hatred, the negativity towards each other. Look at these wars going on. Among communities. Good Lord, I was brought up in a Marathi family. I heard this stuff for years, different castes and all this kind of stuff, and one community versus, I don't want to go into the details. I heard that for years. Such terror. Thank God I was brought up in this country. People brought up in that massive structure, that caste-based and culture-based stratification. There's so much dislike for those people who are different than us. North versus South, this versus that, this versus that. Unbelievable. I don't want to give the specifics because I just don't want to do that. I heard it all my life. From so many people. Always differentiating with somebody else. Showing superiority, that we are superior to somebody else. And this so-called Hindu community is sick with this problem. This is one of the biggest sicknesses in India as well as in the entire Hindu community. This constant comparison with others. Differentiation with others. On the surface, things look very badi baat sab log karte. See what they're really talking, when they're in their specific groups. Kisi ko mukti kabhi bhi nahi milegi. Impossible. You have to get out of this mess. There's no chance of it. Because the way it goes is that there's a group, and then there's another group, and there's so many groups like this, and they all, when they are inside that group, they will criticize somebody else. And that's Bhagwan Krishna says, get out. Go be doomed into the Maya. Wo aapko Bhagwan ka dham mein jaye, he'll never let you go inside there. Impossible. You or me or anybody else in this sansar. That door cannot open. Moksha dvaram apavrat. Rag and dvesh are the two biggest stumbling blocks to realization of God. They have to go. One has to go beyond them, and we're going to talk about that later on. It's very interesting. It's darn interesting. बहुत interesting है ये. But we have to see the dynamics of Rag Dvesh. Extraordinary. Extraordinary बात है. In closing for today, इतनी ही प्रार्थना है भगवान के चरणों में हमारे अंतकरण में से इसे we can get out of the prison of Rag Dvesh, and then we realize the Anandam Satchidanand Vigraha Paramatma Govindam Paramanandam. भगवान जो है भगवत तत्व है वो इससे बाहर तत्व है वो. The Atma is beyond Rag Dvesh. अक्षर ब्रह्म is beyond Rag Dvesh. भगवान पर ब्रह्म पुरुषोत्तम परमात्मा वो beyond Rag Dvesh है. वो एक ही तत्व है. And until and unless साधक can go beyond Rag Dvesh, जीवन मुक्त नहीं बन सकते हैं. अखंड भक्ति नहीं बनती. It can never happen because the mind is spinning inside Rag Dvesh. This is a very profound and very significant thing to understand. Constant judgments are made of others. Likes and dislikes are always going on. And we're going to get into this very, very, very carefully. I don't know how much time that is. What is the will of Radha and Krishna? Paramatma ki jaisi ichha. That is the wo jo buddhi denge. On that basis, whatever research is being done here, it's बहुत बड़ी बात है. If you could get a glimpse out of Rag Dvesh, आत्मा का अनुभव होता है. हाँ, आत्मा is beyond Rag Dvesh. Atma is Sat Chit Anand. It is not male or female, rich or poor, this caste, this likes and dislikes, and this group and that group, and African American and Caucasian, and this. Kuch nahi hai. So let's stop here and then we'll have some Q&A if you would like. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada. Om Shri Radha Krishnaya Namo Namah Om Hrim Swaha.